The invisible wounds, how your emotions could be causing your illness, the Buddhist path to healing without drugs or stress. You are not just what you eat. You are also what you feel, what you fear, and what you keep silent. We often think of illness as something that happens to us, a virus, an accident, a random twist of fate. But very few people stop to ask, could the way I live, the way I think, and especially the way I feel, be contributing to what I'm experiencing in my body? Modern science says yes. Ancient Buddhism has said this for a long time. And if we are brave enough to listen, the answer is not just yes, but here's how to begin the healing process. Unresolved emotions turn into physical illness. Let's start with a common but rarely discussed reality. A woman holds resentment in her heart for many years. One day, her body erupts in chronic fatigue. A man loses a loved one and silently buries the pain. 2 months later, he suffers from chest pain and high blood pressure. A teenager, afraid of disappointing others, hides anxiety behind a smile, until one night he has a panic attack, feeling like he's about to die. These are not coincidences. They are emotional wounds that found no escape, so they entered the body. According to Buddhist understanding, the mind does not reside solely in the head. It lives throughout the body. Every thought, every repressed emotion, every unresolved grudge. It all reverberates through your nervous system, muscles, immune response, and even your digestive system. And eventually, the body will speak. Western science confirms. Your body keeps the score. Let's dive into a bit of science. In the groundbreaking book, The Body Keeps the Score, trauma expert Dr. Bessel van der Kolk explains, trauma is not just an event that happened in the past. It exists in the body, and the body always remembers even when the mind forgets. Recent studies show that chronic anger is linked to heart disease. Prolonged grief weakens the immune system. Anxiety disrupts gut microbiota and digestive enzymes. Repressed emotions can lead to inflammation, fatigue, and autoimmune diseases. The field of psychoneuroimmunology, a branch of modern medicine, proves that your thoughts and emotions truly affect your health. On a cellular level, 3 common emotional toxins. Let's break it down into 3 common invisible toxins that are often overlooked. 1. Anger, either turned inward or outward. Unresolved anger increases blood pressure, tightens muscles, raises stress hormones, and can cause arteries to harden over time. 2. Anxiety, the silent panic behind a calm exterior. Chronic anxiety keeps the sympathetic nervous system in overdrive, weakening digestion, sleep, and immunity. 3. Shame, the silent belief, I am not enough. Shame doesn't shout, it whispers. But it kills confidence, paralyses joy, and keeps the body in a low vibrational state. People with high inner shame have a statistically higher risk of chronic disease. Buddhism refers to these as kleshas, negative emotions, and warns that if left unchecked, they not only disturb the mind but manifest physically in the body. Buddhist perspective: suffering is a messenger, not an enemy. The Buddha never denied the reality of suffering. He simply reframed it. He said pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional, because suffering arises from resistance, attachment, and misunderstanding. When we deny our sorrow, it becomes fatigue. When we suppress our pain, it becomes numbness. When we ignore our desires, it becomes addiction. When we cling to control, it becomes chronic stress. What does Buddhism offer us? An opportunity to sit with these emotions, not to fix them or run from them, but to understand them so deeply that they begin to reveal themselves. Let me tell you about a man named James, 42 years old. He had a perfect life. A stable job, a faithful partner, 2 kids, a lovely home, but every night he struggled to breathe. His chest tightened. His hands went numb. He felt like he was about to die. Cardiologists couldn't find anything. Psychiatrists prescribed medication. Yet the panic attacks came as usual. It wasn't until James sat with a meditation teacher that everything came to light. Through tears, he said, "I never mourned for my mother. She passed away when I was 16. I just moved on. I never cried, never spoke about it. I told myself I had to be strong." And his teacher, with deep compassion, said, "Your body hasn't forgotten. It still holds that moment." That night, James cried for the first time in 26 years. The next morning, he woke up feeling lighter, not completely healed, but no longer afraid. He said, "My panic attacks were not trying to destroy me. They were trying to find me." The Buddha gave us tools, not magic. He didn't say, "Just think positive." He said, "Look deeply." When you are ill, ask, "What am I holding inside? What has been buried too long? Where have I abandoned myself? What am I afraid to feel?" This is the beginning of the inner healing process, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And remember, understanding is healing. When the truth is clearly seen, the suffering it causes often begins to fade. Practice, face the pain, don't run from it. Let's take a moment to practice something simple but powerful. This practice will help you confront your emotions and physical pain with compassion instead of running from it. Step 1. Find a quiet, comfortable space where you can sit still. Close your eyes gently and take 3 deep breaths. Let each breath fill your lungs, and as you exhale, release any tension or stress. Step 2. Now turn your attention inward. Ask yourself, where does it hurt? But don't just focus on physical pain. Tune in and ask, where am I feeling tension? Where do I feel heat, tightness, or discomfort? Step 3. As you reflect, you might notice these feelings in your chest, in your stomach, or perhaps even in your throat. Wherever it is, bring your awareness to that spot. Step 4. Instead of trying to push away the discomfort or change it, simply pay attention to it. Just be with it. Allow yourself to feel what is there without judgment. Step 5. Now place your hand gently over that area as if you're offering comfort to a child in need. Let your hand be warm, supportive, and gentle. As you do this, silently repeat to yourself, "I see you, I hear you, you are safe with me." Step 6. Practice this every day, not as a technique you must perfect, but as a return to yourself. When you face pain and discomfort with awareness and kindness, something amazing happens. The pain itself begins to soften because you're no longer avoiding it or fighting it. Why this works? Sometimes what hurts isn't just the pain itself. It's the fact that we've left it unresolved for too long. We've pushed it down, avoided it, or ignored it. But when we turn towards it with compassion and understanding, we create space for healing to begin. This practice helps you connect with your body and emotions in a deep, meaningful way. It's about acknowledging your feelings, being gentle with yourself, and starting the process of healing from the inside out. In Buddhism, there is an important teaching. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power. When you feel emotional pain, you have 2 choices: react unconsciously with anger, blame, distraction. Respond mindfully with attention, breath, and understanding. The first deepens the wound. The second begins to heal the wound, and gradually pain becomes the teacher. Suffering transforms into wisdom. There is a story in Buddha's life about a woman named Kisa Gautami, who lost her infant son and went mad with grief. She went door to door, asking for medicine to bring her child back. Eventually, someone took her to the Buddha. He told her, "Bring me a mustard seed from any house that has never experienced death." She searched throughout the village, house by house, Not a single family had escaped loss. That night she returned empty-handed, but awakened. She buried her son and became a nun. Her pain did not disappear, but it transformed. It opened her to a deeper reality. We all suffer, we all break, but we can all awaken. If you take away only one thing from this video, let it be this. Your emotions are not a mistake. Your wounds are not shameful. Your body has not betrayed you. They are the messengers. They are the guides. They are the sacred invitation for you to meet yourself more deeply. And when you finally do that, not to fix, but to feel, not to struggle, but to understand, that is when the healing process begins, not just in your body, but in your heart and in your soul.